Everyone, and welcome to the 4th episode of Let's Be Real Show. I'm your host, Asia Say What with 2 T's, and we have a special guest today filling in for our guy at OG Lil Cole.
Alright, yeah, everybody, I'm Ralph Watson. I'm a current senior at the University of Central Missouri. I'm the president of our ABC here, and I try to do a lot of stuff, man. Asia invited me, so I'm excited to be here.
It's time to do it. Okay, before I start, you guys know I do jobs with 2 T's. I'm going to tell you the jobs again. Once again, if y'all can't hear us, let us know. Let us know if we having any issues. Keep us updated. So, jobs with 2 T's. I'm going to start off with Mizzou. Barnes & Noble is hiring receivers, part-time tellers for Bank of America. Lids is looking for help, like sales associates. AT&T is looking for sales associates. And Target is looking for part-time associates. And they put on their ASAP. So they looking for people right now. Also, most state. Enterprise is hiring for car washers. Academy Sports is looking for seasonal cashiers. Macy's is looking for sales associates. McDonald's is looking for late night crew members. And FedEx is looking for part-time dock workers. And last but not least, UCM, our school is looking for custodians. So if you're a student, if your mom's looking for a job, your dad, anybody, let them know that our school is hiring for full-time and part-time custodians to make our facility look really, really nice. Also, Murphy Oil is looking for... Okay, they told us the sound is straight. Okay, thanks, Sean. Murphy Oil is also looking for sales associates here in Warrensburg. And UCM students, you know, we have Mules for Hire. So if you really want to know the jobs on campus, log on to Mules for Hire, set you up an account, and you can find out there. Also, if I missed a school, if you watched the show and you aren't listed in any of the schools I named, please hit me up at Asia Say What with 2 T's, and I will find jobs in your area. Now, without further ado, before I get into the topic, I want to just kind of touch up on the Ebola disease. I know everyone was going crazy on Twitter last week. I ain't gonna even lie, it kind of scared me a little bit because I had the flu all last week. I was sick. So when I started reading them symptoms, I'm like, oh my God. But I was ignorant because I didn't know what it was. And I'm going to tell you guys what it is. I don't have it, by the way. Let me just clear that up. You probably don't have it. The chances of you getting it are so slim. So if you're freaking out because you're coughing and sneezing, I'm just going to let you know you probably don't have it. Now, let me read the definition. Okay. Ebola virus disease is a disease of humans and other primates caused by an Ebola virus. Symptoms start 2 days to 3 weeks after contracting the virus, with a fever, sore throat, muscle pain, and headaches. Typically, vomiting, diarrhea, and rash follow, along with decreased function of the liver and kidneys. Around this time affected, people may begin to bleed both within the body and externally. So that's pretty much what the disease is. Like I said, the way to contract the disease is by bodily fluids or blood. They say you can get it also by saliva, but they did not mention the amount of saliva that you need to contract the disease. And also, people said they just found out about it in March. Actually, this disease has been going around since August the 12th of 1976. This is nothing new. Relax. If you get it, it's bad. Is there a cure? They say it isn't, but we don't know. I guess we just got to find out. And without further ado, I want to get into our topic. And today's topic is called pregnancy. Is pregnancy a trend? Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because this weekend I went home and I was babysitting my niece London, and we were at Walmart, and as we're going through the aisles, people kept stopping me, and you know what they kept saying? Your baby is so cute. Now, London is adorable, guys. But that wasn't the part that just irritated me. It was your baby. Everyone assumed that this was my child. And my question is, I'm like, why do they keep saying this is my child? Why couldn't they say, oh, your little sister is cute, oh, your niece is cute, your baby cousin? Everyone assumed that this college student with a major and a minor, her own show and so much more, had a child. And it really just baffled me. So I went home and I was telling my parents about it. And I'm like, you know, we got to talk about this on the show. How everyone assumes that a teen girl can be out with a child and it's her child. And that's the issue. What you think, Ralph?
I don't know, man. I do. I see a lot of teen girls and young girls out with kids, and you know, I'm not going to lie. My first initial, response is maybe that young woman.
You assume that that's their child.
Yeah, I would lie if I said I didn't. So,
but
yeah.
why did my thing? And that's the first question I want to know: is teenage pregnancy that high?
Right.
That everyone assumes that if you're a young girl out with a kid, that is yours. Now, this show, I'm just going to let you guys know, this show is not to knock any teen mothers. Right. It's not to talk about anybody if you've had a teen pregnancy. That's not what we're doing. We just want to bring awareness to the fact and ask the question, is teen pregnancy becoming a trend? Are people getting pregnant because they want to keep a guy? Are people getting pregnant because it's the end thing? Are people not believing in having children until they're married? We want to know. These are the questions we want to know from you guys. So make sure you use the hashtag LBRS. And we're going to start something, as you guys know I like to do, stats and facts with 2 T's. Okay, so in 2013, this is the most recent teenage pregnancy facts. In 2013, 26.6 births for every 1,000 adolescents females between the ages of 15 through 19, or 274,000 babies born to females in this age group. That's how many that were born between the ages of 15 and 19. So nearly 89% of these babies occur outside of marriage. 89%. So that means 89% of teens that are having these babies aren't married. And that's the question we want to ask you guys. Why are teens... Now, I understand that it's 2014 and people feel like you don't have to be married to have a baby. So I just want to know, is that standard or that moral that we were taught just completely gone? Because I know for me, I don't want to have any children until I'm married. I want to make sure I have that husband. That way my child can be perfectly taken care of. Not saying that single mothers aren't holding it down for their kids. But that's just something how I grew up on. And make sure you use the hashtag LBRS to let us know how you feel about that. So that's the biggest question. Nobody wants to be married. And the biggest thing people kept saying was, it was an accident. And that leads into our first subtopic. Okay. Is it really an accident? Is teenage pregnancies an accident?
I don't know, man. I have to disagree with that. Just the whole accident thing, I think we all are responsible. You know, we all adults, man. We know a lot of people out here who are sexually active who don't have kids. So I think some young women and young men take that choice, you know, take that chance, and they take that risk. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things is risking and not knowing what you're really risking. That's what I think. That's probably one of the biggest issues is taking that risk and not knowing that you are risking a lot of stuff, you know, at this point in time in your life.
Okay. I can agree to that. I'm one of those people, I don't believe in accidents.
Right.
And the reason I don't say that is because it's tons of contraceptive out there. There's so many forms of birth control. There's so many brands of condoms. What may not work for you, it's 1,000 other kinds that may work. So I feel like it's blaming it on an accident really the right way to go. I'd rather somebody just be upfront and be like, look, it happened. I wanted this child and I'm going to take care of it. Right. Because the issue is becoming the young mothers that are having babies but aren't in the predicament to take care of them.
Right.
You're bringing a child into an unfit environment.
True. I think one of the problems is, though, even with bringing a child into a very unfit environment, is that the women don't really have an option anymore. You know, a lot of women aren't put in the best situation, and a lot of fathers aren't stepping up anymore. You know, you have a lot of women who, you know, they maybe feel like they're in love with the guy. You know, they may really be interested in having a relationship, and, you know, they take that step and they end up, you know, making that chance, you know, taking that chance, and they take that risk, and then the guy, you know, jets out. He's just like, man, you know, hey, I'm gone. I really got something else I really need to be doing. You know, that ain't mine. Which you do hear a lot of that from the young men today. So I think that's probably a big issue too.
So you saying that people have babies to keep the guy around?
I wouldn't say to keep the guy around, but I know that's more so we're young, and I know a lot of people think they're ready for family, you know. But once 15
and 16 though, 17. I don't even think I'm not gonna be ready for a family out. I'm like 27, 28. You know, and I'm just keeping it real. I'm not gonna be ready for a family until then. So I know a lot of girls, they're in relationship with guys and they feel like they're in love. So do you think that's what I start to think? Like, I really think that girls have babies, not all, but some, to keep a guy around.
Right. But then you have to look at what is family now though. Like what is the stereotype or the image of family? Or are people portraying family as two wealthy established adults settling down and having kids, or are they portraying adults as, families as, hey, my son is cute, he's a nice looking young man, and I could put pictures of him up on Instagram, and people really not feeling some type of way about it. I mean, because a lot of the time now, women are getting praised for their quote-unquote cute little sons and stuff like that.
So you think that it's more of a fashion statement? Because I know, These Instagram babies are cute. Right. They have awards for the cutest Instagram baby, which my niece London could be on that page. I'm going to just throw that out there right now because she's adorable. Right. So you think it's more people having babies and they treat them like dolls, to dress them up, put them on the nice clothes, and post them on Instagram. I
mean, I must say, we really are in the generation of a quote-unquote celebrity child. You know, our first celebrity child was like, you know, a Jaden Smith or a Willow Smith. That was a celebrity child, but that was a little far-fetched. Now you have the Kim K's and, you know, the Northwests and the Blue Ivies and stuff. So a lot of people are really interested in trying to live the same lifestyle that these celebrities are doing, because whenever you see Blue Ivy, her messed up and everything, people think she's adorable. She's probably, you know, one of the best looking little babies ever. You know, so I think people really are really feeling into this whole idea of, hey, teen pregnancy is cool, and my son is more so of a partner, you know, versus a burden.
So I got a quick little tweet, and it's from my girl Danielle. She said, okay, maybe not never because of rape. Most of the time it's not an accident. Now when we're talking about this, we're not talking about the people who've been raped, who've had any type of sexual abuse to them. This is not directed towards you. We're talking about the people who consented. Right. And that was a good point. So let's just throw it out there. This is consensual sex. Right. And you made a good point. Like, a lot of girls have babies because they think that their baby will be cute with him.
True.
He light skinned. Now, ladies, I got a question for y'all. And I know me and my friends do this all the time. I know it's like a lot of foreign exchange students here. And when I be like, man, our babies would be fire. Like, we would have some cute babies. And I know I'm not the only one to do that. Like, my dark skin, his cocoa brown skin. Like, I know I'm not the only one, but I leave it at a joke. Right. You leave it at the joke and don't take it further. But it's some people who take it further than a joke. Right. It's some people who really do think that. And so far from all of our tweets, we have someone who said no such thing as an accident, just excuses, because there's so many ways to prevent pregnancy. About 3 or 4 different people have tweeted in saying that. So we all agree to that one. Sure. And that brings me to my next thing is, do you feel like the guy has it easier when the girl gets pregnant? I think so.
The guy has it easier?
But see, let me explain it. We're going to need your opinion on that too. For example, I get pregnant. Let's just say that, you know, I get pregnant by you. True. So I have to go home. Right. I'm at home. You're still going to be at school.
True.
You're not going to go home to help me raise that child. True. You're going to still stay here. You're going to still do your sports. You're still going to graduate in May. I'm going to see you on breaks occasionally every other weekend. Right. You come get the child on Saturday because you got to go back to school on Sunday. Right. And I'm going to be dealing with everything. Not saying that mothers cannot go to school. Mm-hmm. But it's hard. Right. And I just know me, and I just know how much I feel about school right now. Mm-hmm. So if I added a baby to the equation, 2 T's, man, I'm gonna just be real. I don't know what I would do, because my life will be dedicated to my child. I would feel like my life is pretty much over. Like, I had my chance to go to school. Yeah. Now it's about trying to save up for you to go to school. It's about trying to get you in the best elementary schools, best high schools, best colleges. My life is all dedicated to you. My life doesn't matter anymore. And I feel like with the guy, he doesn't have to do that. You can still keep playing your sports. You can still keep going to school. You can still hang out with your boys, because you're going to be doing it. I'm going to have the child Monday through Friday, 9 times out of 10. You get it on Saturday, and you back to your regular life Sunday through Friday. Right. So how do you feel about that?
I just think that's a stereotypical pregnancy. I mean, that's a stereotype, man. And I think for all guys, I mean, it would be amazing if that was the perfect situation, you know, where you do just have the kid, and, you know, the husband can go back to school, or the man can go back to school and whatnot, and you can continue. I think men need to step up first and foremost. You know, if our women are feeling like this, I think men really need to step up and take an initiative to let, you know, our young women know that, hey, if we do make that mistake or this does happen, we're going to be here to support, you know, protect, and to take ownership of what we're doing, because you can't jet out. A kid needs two parents, you know, not a part-time or one only on the weekend. So I think first and foremost, our men need to step up. And I must say, I do agree with you on that, though. I mean, that you do put it that way. Men do have a nice scapegoat, you know, like, well, I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to do this. But I think that's more so from traditional historical living. If you were to ever think about past times, the men were the ones to quote-unquote go out, get the jobs, and bring back the food or whatever. It's the same thing. It's just a different time period. Women are getting pregnant, but men are using that excuse to go out and quote-unquote develop an education, which is supposed to be brought back to the family. But men aren't bringing that back. They aren't bringing that historical background and that truth back.
You know, that's a good point, because now that I think about it, most guys, while you're away at school, you can meet another girl without a baby. She don't have that baggage, and you can fall in love with her. So now that's another single mother.
Right.
That's another mother left to raise a child by herself until she just meets a man who is willing to take that child in. And I got a text from Brianna, and she made a good point. She said, make sure to mention that pregnancy isn't the worst thing that can come out of unprotected sex. Diseases are way worse.
Right.
And just to let you UCM students know, it's free STD testing offered October 8th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our university. I'll add the location in the description box or tweet it out a little bit later for you guys. But that's a good...
I think it would be in the health center. More than likely. That's where
I thought the health center. Okay, it's going to be at the health center, guys. And also, I just want to bring up STDs is a... You guys, especially black women, we're leading for HIV in this country. Black women are leading for HIV. So please, protected sex goes further than having a baby. It's catching a STD. And with this Ebola disease out, bodily fluids,
right,
you might get that or something else. So just use protected sex. Use protected sex. Use protection. Most clinics at your school do give out free condoms. Maybe let's be real, I should start. No, never mind. Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. But that's also a good point. I also want to read the tweets because they are coming in.
Right, yeah.
You guys are on with this audience interaction. Okay.
Ooh,
let's
see. Right there.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, this one right here.
Oh, okay. It's the other way around. Men are trapping these women. Ooh.
I don't know.
Okay, so she said the men are trapping the women. That's to you. That's.
I mean, I don't have any kids. I don't have. I'm not down with the trapping. I must say I don't know any women that are in that situation right now, but young men, you do need to step up. If you out here trapping a woman and that's your.
But what does that mean by trapping a woman? So does that? So do you? But hold up. I like your comment, but at the end of the day, if that woman was on her birth control, taking that pill regularly, on her shot, he can't trap you. That girl can't trap you if you using your protection every time.
And making sure your man is using his protection as well.
And if he don't have something, you carry something in your purse.
True. Because you always got to be ready.
Snaps fingers.
Right.
Okay. So, and you know, that was a good comment, but there's no such thing as trapping one another. Because if one person is on it, now the man can trap you with an STD. Right. That's just real. But far as a pregnancy, ladies, if you taking your stuff regularly, if you have the shot, that won't happen. No such thing as trapping.
So can a man can't trap? Can a woman trap a man?
No.
You don't think a woman can trap a man?
I don't think a woman can trap a man.
I think so.
How so? If the man if he brings his own condoms, if he's bringing his own protection, how can she trap you?
I mean, first off,
you protecting yourself. And I heard they got a male birth control coming out. Don't quote me. I don't know how true that is.
That's gonna be terrible. Male birth control is not gonna be good. But as far as a woman trapping a man, I think personally, women can do certain things. You know, women are very manipulative characters, and we all know that.
That's a whole nother topic for another day. That's another topic for another day.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, so someone tweeted said, I think that there are plenty of females that use kids as a way to keep guys around. I think that is too. A lot of women do that, but that still falls back on the guy. Right. Are you protecting yourself? You can only worry about yourself. If you bring in your own protection, because don't trust no woman, because them pins do work.
True.
Women do believe in poking pins and stuff. You gotta... You know what I'm saying? So. But
then what you got to get into, so how far are you going to go every single time you actually interested in a woman? Because, you know, it may not be the first time. And then how interested in you, are you in that woman if you only thinking about, hey, she might be trying to trap me at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't, every time y'all land together, you can't be looking out the side eye like, man, she might be.
So that comes into trusting the person. My guy CJ just tweeted in and said, man, women trap the N-word every day. You guys know this is a family-friendly show, so make sure your tweets are kind of filtered. But I disagree, and I'm going to switch topics because I don't want to dwell on this too much. Ladies, you can't trap a man. You want to know why? Because if that man's using his protection, there's nothing you can do. Now, the protection is only 99.9% accurate. 99.9%. So I guess it's that 0.1% chance, but that's rare. So men, you can't trap women. Women, you can't trap men. If everybody just use their own protection, there won't be no trapping. Protect yourself. Protect yourself from that trap. And I'm gonna read one more tweet on this topic, you guys, and I'm gonna go on to the next one. By the way, you guys, we're exceeding that 8:30 because we had some technical difficulties, and this audience interaction is so clutch that we're gonna keep it going. Not too long, but we're going to keep it going. Okay. I mean, trapping in a way that the women is actually stuck raising their child, providing for them, and having to give up everything. She clarified herself, saying that that's what she meant by trapping.
True.
That is true, because the woman is kind of stuck. The man, like I said, you get to keep doing what you have to do, versus me, true. I would be stuck.
I mean, because you got to go into, I guess, that whole situation. Now you got trophy wives and women, you know, they only doing certain aspects of life, and, you know, they having kids, and then you using this male athlete figure, more than likely, who's planning to make a lot of money, and, you know, you getting in a situation that you shouldn't be in. So
okay.
I think that can be possible. And
the next question I'm going to ask is, the girl's life destroyed. Now, I know a lot of young mothers who are out here doing it, full-time jobs, going to school full-time, and taking care of a child. And I salute y'all so much. Some of my friends are doing that right now. Shout out to my friend Jenna. I'm just going to shout her out. She's in school full-time, got her own place, working, and is an amazing mother. So it's possible. So my thing is that why don't all women do that? Is it an excuse not to do it? What is an excuse for not going to school? Because like I said, to me, it would just be too hard. I'm already overwhelmed with school. So I couldn't even imagine bringing the child into that. So that's the question. Is the woman's life destroyed? What do you think? Is destroyed the right word to use?
Destroyed, I would say no. I would say destroyed isn't the right way to use, because you don't want to put that burden on a child first and foremost. Right. Now, maybe 20 years ago when the currency wasn't what it was and we didn't have, you know, the jobs and stuff like that, and it was so hard for women to get jobs and just make a move and stuff like that, I would have to say maybe destroyed is a very strong word at that point in time.
So what word did you say was used?
I don't,
how about
it's a
destroyed? I don't want to use that.
I would say off course, or it throws a
detoured.
Wrench.
It's a detour. Because I'm not going to use detour. But this guy, his name is No Play Dre on Twitter. He just tweeted and said, LBRS, what if the protection breaks? Dre, that goes back to if the girl was on that birth control, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. True. Goes directly back to protecting yourself. So you know what, guys? Let's just stop using the word destroyed. Okay. Her life isn't destroyed. It's just detoured.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of drifted to the left a little bit.
But then you have to put in that work for that as well, though. I mean, no woman is just going to sit back and have a child and then expect not to do any form of work and then that child just to prosper. You know, you have to make sure you put in the daily things that you need to do to make sure that child gets exactly what it needs in order for you all to be successful. So I think that puts a lot more work on your back as a single mother. You know, as a single mother, you do have to grind hard. Because my mother is a single mother, so I know she understands.
So and you turned Ralph is doing the thing, y'all. His mother and my best friend was raised by a single mother, and she does the thing.
Right.
Shout out to my best friend Brianna. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you can be a single mother and make it happen. But my thing is that it's the women. What really upsets me is the mothers who bring the children, like I said, in these circumstances, knowing they can't take care of them, knowing they're going to have to live off government assistance, abusing the system to the fullest, and keep having children, keep bringing them in this unfit lifestyle. And that's what just really grinds my gears. And I want to know, why do women do that? Why do women abuse the system? Why do you want to be labeled as that? Why do you want to keep adding on to our stereotype? Because black women are leading with underage pregnancies. Leading 64% of teenage pregnancies are from black women.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys need? What do you feel like is missing? You have clinics like Planned Parenthood that gives out free birth control. You have Planned Parenthood that gives out free condoms. What do you guys need? Like I said, if you want to start a family at an early age and you feel like you can do it, then okay. This is for the women who you know you can't do it. We want to find a solution. We're not here to bash. That's the Let's Be Real show. We're here to lift you up and just find a solution, because teenage pregnancy is outrage.
Right. Okay.
So that's the question.
Let me see. I got a little something I want to throw in.
Oh, okay.
Well, I must say, like, for women who are single and, you know, they are having kids, I think the biggest thing is that there isn't any success as far as black women in our society besides the far-fetched Barack Obama's wife and the Oprahs.
And I love Michelle.
I mean,
woo,
but that's so hard to amount to. You know, in between that gap of Barack Obama's wife, Oprah, what other success do you see? The closest thing is we get into the Love and Hip Hops. That's really the first time you actually see. So
you think that the pregnancies derive from the TV shows?
I mean, because you don't work.
I'm not going to blame it on the TV. True. But then again, what if that's all young girls have to look up to?
I mean, that's all they see.
But I also believe in generational curses.
True.
Now, I ain't going to go there today. I I ain't gonna take you out of church today. I ain't gonna do that. But I do believe in generational curses. I know a lot of girls that are my friends, their mothers had them at 17 and 18. They had their child at 18. Their grandmothers had their mothers at 16 and 15. It just keeps going down and down. Like I said, I ain't gonna take you out of church today. But I do believe in that. And I feel like if you know better, you do better. And a lot of girls were brought up in circumstances where they don't know any better. Then you have the guys who think it's okay to walk around with 6 and 7 baby mamas, be on child support, not paying the child support. They think that's okay because that's all they're surrounded with. So maybe there should be more, I don't want to say more programs, because people aren't going to go to the programs. And that's the question I want to ask you guys. What do we need to do? What do we need to do?
I mean, I think step one is education, but you can't fault people for lack of education. You know, like...
You can't?
No, because
why not?
Everyone can't get the adequate education. From some of the areas that a lot of these teen moms are from, there isn't an adequate amount of information to give to these moms to give them something to strive for. If you coming from, you know, north side of St. Louis, you know, you only see a few of those girls make it out. The majority of them, they don't know, and there's no other answers. There aren't many options.
Okay. Well, you know what? This is for my ladies right now who are pregnant. This information is for you. If you're pregnant, if you have a baby, and you want to go to college, and you just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. I have a list of scholarships that are for black single women, pregnant or having a child. And I'm going to make sure I tweet these links out because I know you guys aren't going to be able to like write it down real quick. Share it to your friend. Tell it to somebody. You don't have to go to a 4-year university. You can do a 2-year college. You can go to a trade school. You can do anything. And these scholarships will help you pay for it. The Jeanette Rankin Foundation scholarships. That's scholarships. It's a lot of them. SWE Scholarship Program, Emerge Scholarship Program, Arkansas Single Parent Scholarship Fund. We have the Federal Supplement Education Opportunity Grant, and I believe this grant gives out up to $10,000 towards your education. So your $10,000 plus your financial aid, that's a year of school, depending on where you want to go. You also have Scholarship for Moms, another place that gives out up to $10,000. Those two scholarships behind along is $20,000. You have Scholarship for Working Adults. You have the Women Independent Scholarship Program. The United Negro Fund gives out scholarships to black women who are pregnant or single mothers. You have Women Opportunity Awards. You have American Association of University Women Scholarship. You have Women in Defense Horizon Scholarship, and the list continues to go on and on. So don't think your life is over because you've had a baby, because it's not. There's people out there willing to help you because we know things happen. Everybody makes mistakes. And when I say mistakes, I'm not saying that I'm trying to see how I'm gonna word it, because it wasn't an accident.
Purposeful mistakes.
Purposeful mistakes. We all do things that in the moment it was cool. You like, whatever, I'm gonna have this baby, and once the baby come, it can get kind of difficult, and we understand that. So that's why Let's Be Real Show, we support y'all. We just here to help y'all. We want single mothers we want you guys in school. We want you to be successful. We want you to get a husband. We want you to beat your statistic rate. That's what we're here for. So let us know what you think. If you know any resources, please hit us up. Please let us know, because this underage pregnancy thing is going to stop. We got to be more wives, you guys. More wives. And I got a couple tweets. Everything starts at home. TV has some influence, but home has the biggest impact. That's true, because like I stated previously, my parents, shout out to my mom and dad, they just always told me, my mom just said, don't have any kids till you're married. Wait till you have that husband, because I want to see you struggle. So that's my mindset. But like you said, if they don't have that, then what else do they have to look up with?
Can I ask you a quick question?
What's up?
Is your mother successful?
I mean, I think my mother's successful, entrepreneur. She's down in the educational field. She's been a good example for me. I feel like success is objective. It's up to that person. So is she a doctor or a lawyer? No, but I think she's done a great job with owning businesses and now being in the educational field.
So can I throw something out? With their successful mother, and that, you know, you have something to look at. You know, someone of success, they can tell you something. They have something to back it. What do you do when your mother was a single mother and she doesn't have much to offer, where your mother, maybe she doesn't work or she lives off of someone, and then you born into this situation? So what do you do then when you don't have that mother or that driving force, or even anyone with any form of success around you to tell you what to do or to guide you in the right way? Because a lot of women that are or young and or pregnant, you know, they're getting guidance from young men, because that's what women tend to, you know, they tend to hone to. They like a young man, they think he's cool, he's a nice guy to be around, he's charming or whatever. They latch to him, and then if the young man is putting whatever information he wants in, and there's no positive information or there's no form of success in the area, she doesn't really have much to base it off of. So, I mean, she's going to obviously go and do her own thing because, hey, this dude may be buying the nice shoes. You know, he might be buying the Jordans because the mom can't afford them. And what he says is usually probably going at that point in time. So, that's kind of what I think. I think that you have to have a successful parent as well.